I am going to try to talk you guys through the next step of the White Rose plans. We would have been moving on to fractions next, so I will talk you through the first step of that. The White Rose scheme is the one we use in school. It's really helpful at explaining why things happen in maths, so that children who can't understand necessarily abstract concepts know, for example, what division means, what multiplication means. And I know that I've had some really lovely messages from parents saying thank you for explaining it to you guys. It's the least I can do. I feel bad writing plans that I'm essentially not going to teach, and I know how hard it is coming in to teach this way, because when I became a teacher I had to learn this way of teaching because I wasn't taught this way. So I completely sympathise, and anything I can do to make it easier for yourselves, just message and I will make sure I try to do that. Yeah, we're moving on to fractions. The first steps in most of the White Rose sections or schemes of work are quite obvious. Is obvious the word? No. It's almost like it's not really to do with the actual topic. So we're not going to be looking at anything particularly fraction based today. Not with number, line, number. None of that today. We're going to be looking at making equal groups. Now, most children will be fairly familiar with that from when we did multiplication. Making the groups equal, recognising equal groups, that kind of thing. So essentially it's not too dissimilar from things we've already done. They just need to represent it using pictures and quantities, so amounts of things. So we've done a lot on quantities so far. So I've got 12 sweets, share them equally between 6 children, 2 in each group, that kind of thing. But when it comes to pictures, that's when you're kind of halving a shape, making sure that it's in half. It becomes a little bit more complicated, particularly as it's more of an abstract idea. When it's on a screen, you can't move and manipulate the pieces. And essentially what I mean by that is recognising equal halves. So same shape, okay, the whole of that shape is the square, okay, so just rubbed a bit out. So children need to understand the word whole as being the entire thing, or the entire amount, the entire shape, and obviously the parts are the bit that it is then divided up into. So try not to rub it off again, there we go. So I've got my same whole here, so they're roughly the same size square, and the question would be which of these is not split into equal parts. Okay, so children would be able to recognise, okay, well, there's the square is cut into 4 pieces here, 4 pieces here, 4 pieces here, and 4 pieces here, but one of them's not equal. And most children and grown-ups are able to recognise the unequal bit, because I put it down to when someone cuts a cake and I look and I go, they've got a bigger slice than me. So hopefully when it's represented like this, it's a bit easier to recognise. There are slightly trickier representations, but for now it's recognising equal amounts, recognising that this one up here is not equal because this side is bigger than these sides. Okay, so yes, it is still cut into 4, but it's not cut into 4 equal pieces. So they need to do work on recognising equal amounts. In terms of doing this at home, you could draw these onto bits of paper. You could put different amounts of sweets or pasta into groups. Which one's not equal? Can they count inside? That kind of thing. This is probably the hardest one to replicate at home. So my main focus would be, can they recognise equal and unequal groups, and do they know that the word whole is the whole thing? Okay, so the whole shape, and then the parts are the bits that it's been divided up into. Again, work will be directed on that. It's not me directing it this time, but hopefully this video helps to explain that that is just the first step. When I first looked at plans and I looked at steps, I was thinking to myself, is that it? Is that the first step? But for some children, they really do need that understanding of when you get into half of something, they'll know equal and tricky thing for me to say, equal and unequal groups. So it's kind of those really small building blocks to get them to where they need to be. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, if it doesn't, please message me on StudyBugs, and hopefully when the work comes out it will just help to ease any questions you have, because the plans are fairly straightforward, but again, I've read some and gone, I don't know what this is asking me to do. So yeah, message me if you have any questions. Hopefully you're all staying safe, enjoying the sunshine, which is a bit hit and miss nowadays, but hopefully, yeah, you're enjoying all of that. And like I said before, I do hope that we can get back to school together at some point. I'm in work tomorrow and the following day, so I won't be posting anything tomorrow or Wednesday, but hopefully I'll be back on it on Thursday. Yeah, have a good couple of days, and I will see you in the next video.